What's going on, my beautiful people from YouTube? Let's talk about the Helium network and how different miners stack up against one another. Right now, we have this huge battle between Golden Boy, the Bobcat 300, versus the Sensecap M1. Who will win? Who's gonna dominate this network? Right now, Bobcat definitely has the market, and they've been winning out. They got voted as the most popular miner out there, and I think a lot to do with basically they came out first, so they got more units out there. The people voting are gonna vote for them. So it is what it is. That doesn't mean that it's the best. My goal is to provide you guys with value, provide you guys with information that's going to help you make the best possible decisions when it comes to mining. Not just Helium, there's plenty of other things you could be mining out there as well. I've been mining for over a decade, which makes me, nope, not an expert, it just makes me old, which is okay. But I've been around the block and I've seen how things are done, and hopefully I can pass on a little bit of knowledge, the things that I've learned, the things that I've seen, and maybe you might not make the mistakes that I've made in the past, like losing a ton of money on exchanges that go bye-bye. But that's besides the point. Let's talk about, like I was saying, the Sensecap M1 and the Bobcat 300, because that's what we're here for. I want to make sure you guys are making as much HNT as possible. And like with any other video, I'll ask for you to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm so I can continue to make content, continue to provide you guys with value, because that's what I'm here for. And I usually like to break things down in 1, 2, 3 so it sticks in your brain. So first thing I want to ask you guys is, do you like to make money? Hopefully the answer is yes, because I want to be able to give away, let's do 50 HNT just for this video alone. I'm going to pick one of the comments down below, and here's the crazy question that I want to ask you. It has nothing to do with these miners. I would love to get a panel together of influencer, community members, you name it, whatever it is, anybody that you think would be worthwhile getting in maybe a Google, space or something, Google Meet, and talking about Helium, figuring out what people like, what their experiences have been, so that you can be better informed about this network. So leave a comment down below. I want to hear from you, who you'd like for me to sit down with, and I'd love to do it in a group setting. So may it be the #1 community member for this year. May it be, I don't know, maybe Alex. He's the one who got me to buy the Bobcat 300 in the first place. So, there are plenty of people out there. Let me know in the comments down below. There are awesome YouTubers, influencers, community members, people that love talking about Helium, that love helping others grow in their knowledge about the Helium network. So that's point number one. I got a point number one out of the way. I didn't even do this is what's going to be. That's point number one. We're done there. Wow, that was awesome. Try to make it entertaining so you guys can actually enjoy watching a video instead of listening to somebody go, all right, now you remove the SD card and then you plug. All right, we're not doing that. We're doing number two, which is let's just get down to it and compare these two miners head to head. And I had to nerd out a little bit for this one because the way to compare these things, like step number one is for you to go out and read, right? You got to take a look at these PDFs that they put out and see what it is that they're saying, which is all nice. And they give you a bunch of info and you can read it and you can go into it. That's great, but it's PowerPoint time. Let's make sure we got a slideshow so that you guys can actually follow along and make it easy for everyone. So Bobcat 300 versus the Sensecap M1. Wi-Fi. Point number one, I am highlighting the things that you might see that are different between the two units. First, Bobcat 300, it does have the 802.11 B, G, and N, while the Sensecap M1 has the AC version of things. What this means is that the Bobcat, you're only going to be able to connect to 2.4 gigahertz networks, while the Sensecap, you can actually go to a 5G network, which is, faster at the end of the day because you can actually get more info through that route. So in this case, we got to give it to the Sensecap M1. Now talking about Bluetooth. And here's, hopefully you understand that I'm trying to be very fair when it comes to the ratings or winners, whatever you might want to call it. So the Bobcat, now it is a 5.1 Bluetooth, while the Sensecap has a 5.0, but it is BLE, which means that BLE is it's a low energy consumption Bluetooth, while the 5.1 can actually figure out where the signal's coming from. So let's say you're connected to a 5.1 Bluetooth device, it knows exactly where it's coming from if it has multiple antennas, because it can actually triangulate the signal, which is super, super nerdy. And at the end of the day, what does it mean? Nothing. Who cares? All you're using that Bluetooth for is for you to connect to your phone and get this thing onto the network in the first place. So does it matter if it's 5.1 or 5.0? No, not one bit. These units don't even need to have the Bluetooth enabled or like a Bluetooth chip at all for it to work. So disregard anything that anybody says about Bluetooth in their units. It really just doesn't matter at all. Next thing though is the Ethernet. The difference between the Bobcat and the Sensecap is the speed. So you got, the 10/100 base T on the Bobcat, which means it's going to be slower than the 1000 on the Sensecap. So you got 100 megabits while you have a gigabit connection on the Sensecap. So Ethernet definitely has to go to the Sensecap unit. Let's keep on going because there's more to it. So for example, the Bobcat uses a 12 volt 1 amp power adapter while the Sensecap uses a USB-C 5 volt 3 amp. And this is what they are. Now, power consumption doesn't matter at all. What really matters to me is really like how you actually plug these units in, because I hate having to look for chargers. And I'm at the point where, you get to a point where you have a box of chargers and the power bricks, you don't know what to do with it. You don't know which one is what, but you keep saving them in case you need it one day. And sure enough, today was a day that I actually couldn't find a 12 volt with the right size. So you got 12 watts of electricity, up to with the Bobcat and up to 15 watts with the Sensecap. That's way, way more than they need to, beam out that signal. Not only that, 15 watts is nothing. So what I care most about is really how standard these plugs are. And I am so done trying to find things, and I don't know, maybe I am getting cranky, but I don't have the time to keep looking for stuff. So when everything is USB-C, my life is going to be so much easier. So I have to go with the Sensecap for this one, just because of the standardization with USB-C. It's like, love my iPhone, hate the plug. Fast sync. All right, so people call it turbo sync. There's a few names for this thing out there, and it's available for both the Bobcat and the Sensecap. The Bobcat is like the inside of that diagnostics tool that they created, and for the Sensecap, it's inside of the dashboard. I have to call this one a draw because they both have it. It's fine. One decided to make it easier, before the other. It doesn't matter. They both have it. It doesn't matter which unit you get. They're both going to be able to handle that type of thing. All right, antenna DBI. This is a little bit tricky, and I do want to actually explain. And I should have given it to one versus the other, but I won't. If we take a look at the antennas, these are the antennas, and I'm going to go full screen for this. Here we have the Bobcat. Here we have the Sensecap, and they are different, strengths, I guess. It's really not strength, it's just a pattern. Which brings me to the point. It's just a pattern. I am so tired of people going online and trying to say, oh, guess what? My antenna is better than yours. Actually, I think I have something that says this right on the website, and I want to share this with you guys. So let me go ahead and put up my screen. On this document here, you can see that we have for the Bobcat antenna, 4 dBi enhanced antenna provides wider network coverage. Others, they only provide you with a 2 dBi antenna, so we're better than them. This is where I call BS on it, because here's the deal. It does not matter if you have a 4 dBi, a 2 dBi, a 10 dBi. It's based on your setup. Where are you placing the unit? You might need something that's, a different, type of antenna depending on where you're placing it. You're placing it really high with no obstructions, or if you're placing it somewhere else, that you might be inside of a building. It all depends. So for a company to go out there and say, we're better than the other ones because we have a 4 dBi antenna.
What you talking about, Willis?
No, that's not how it works. Not only that, and here's why I say that I think I should have given it to one of them. So the Bobcat does have the extension and the little mount. Let me pull that up. So they're talking about this little guy right here that you can place it. Depending on your setup, this is not good if you think about it, because every time you have a connection, you are losing signal strength. So maybe I should have given it to Sensecap for 2 reasons. The extension that can, deteriorate your signal, as well as the blatant lie inside of that PDF. But let's just call this one a draw. There you go. Stop it. Don't say 1 in 10 is better than the other. That's just not true. All right. Heat dissipation. This is kind of funny. So Bobcat says that they have a radiator grill, and the Sensecap M1 talks about having an aluminum.
Aluminium. Okay, you say.
It's aluminum.
Aluminum enclosure, a heat sink, and a cooling fan. This is a big one. And when I go in depth as far as what these units look like inside, you're going to see it super clearly. Like, this is what you have inside of the Bobcat, and inside of the Sensecap unit, this is just the case. This is the unit itself. You have a little spinning fan, and there has been problems with the spinning fan. When they first came out, they were super loud. And when you first plug it in, you're probably going to hear this thing sound like a jet engine, but then it fixes itself right afterwards because it basically like updates the firmware and tones it down. So what does this mean? Well, if your Bobcat's, sitting by a window, getting hit by the sun, it's going to heat up, and it's not very good. And I mean, Sensecap kind of did it right when it comes to the enclosure, and this is not one of the things that I actually cover as far as one of the points, but the enclosure itself, I mean, it's solid aluminum, which is super cool. The back, that's plastic right there, but the enclosure that, it's placed in, it's aluminum, so it's going to help with the heat dissipation. So again, I guess we're talking about the Sensecap M1 winning this round. Management. All right, so this is a big one, big one. And I'll tell you that Bobcat has, come out with their diagnostic tool, which is a diagnoser. I've never heard that word in my life. I think they might have made that up. But Sensecap, they have the Sensecap dashboard. And I have to tell you that, the Bobcat Diagnoser is basically something that they came out with, I guess, late. This announcement is from December 17th. And they're basically saying that, you can, put your IP address and you're going to be able to manage your miner. This is playing catch up. This is really, really playing catch up. I did not know that's how you spelled sync. It's fast sync K. All right, you can fast sync K, which is new as well. But this diagnoser menu can tell you things about temperature. It's just basically a JSON raw data coming out from what you can see here, but it's good. It helps you manage your unit, right? Now, the Sensecap, well, this is even better. Like, I have to say that Sensecap gave it some thought. So your hotspot gets listed. Multiple hotspots. That's right. Like, this is a big deal. Because if you have multiple units on the field, you can just come in here and manage all of them in one spot, one platform, one dashboard. So Sensecap, like, this is your bread and butter. I got to tell you, you guys did this right. You guys really thought about what will the people need, and it's working well for you, because I can tell you that from the people that have, like, say 20 plus units that I have been in communication with, they're actually willing to trade units with me and give me money on top of it to try to get more Sensecap units, because they like this dashboard aspect of things. If you only have one, or you're looking to get your first one, like that really doesn't matter too much, but the dashboard goes a long way if you're managing a fleet. So, with the Bobcat, definitely an afterthought. And with the Sensecap, they really put the work into this and thought about doing this before putting out their miner. Got to give it to Sensecap. All right, product availability. This is a good one. 28 weeks for Bobcat, and March 2022 for the Sensecap from the distributor that I work with all the time. That's 5 to 7 months compared to less than 60 days. So, and the manufacturer, you guys know fast miners, right? Like, where is my shipping thing here? Let me pull up. Here's the Bobcat. So 20 to 28 weeks. Whew, that's a long time to wait for a miner. Not saying they're bad. They got the Helium Noble Awards of 2021, because most people have this unit, like I told you. But that's a long time. Like, that's a really long time. Maybe the hexes around you might be taken up by the time that these come in. So it's like diminishing earnings, right? If you think about it, if a unit pays for itself, I don't know, depending how you set it up, I got mine paid for in less than a month, which was awesome. But it's all how you set it up. And if you go in here, you're going to see that the last batch that they shipped out were orders that replaced 7-7. That's crazy. That's like really, really crazy. Orders placed before August? That's insane. Guys, like that's out of this world. Like, I understand why they're putting all of these like space things, because this is really out of this world, saying that, oh yeah, we're going to ship your stuff out in 20 weeks. Yet we've only shipped stuff from like 7 months ago, going on to 8 months now. So that's why I say that. Now with Sensecap, here's the deal. They ran out of EU. I'm wondering if they're going to add any more. These guys, so this is Fast Miners. I talked about them. They do have a max of 10 units, but they are shipping this out in March, which is super, super cool. And they were actually willing to tell people, hey, if you don't get it in March, we'll give you your money back. Nobody else does that. Like, if you go to, Bobcat or anybody else, they're like, yeah, we're going to ship it, and you can't get your money back. Like, these guys actually put their money where their mouth, was. And I can speak that from experience, because it took 24 days for me to get my first Sensecap that I bought from them. Now I have multiple Sensecaps, because whenever I can get it, I'm not only going to buy one, I will pick up multiple units. But that's just me. So talking about availability, you got to give it to the, to the Sensecap. Oh, 237,600 minutes. 237,600 minutes. That was the other video that I talked about when I picked up my Helium miner, my Bobcat. That's where, you guys might have heard about tactical investing, because he's the one who got me to actually talk about that one. Now, last but not least, this slide here is really important, because I'm going to put a timestamp below, because I don't want you guys to be bogged down by the rest of the video, right? Like, if you wanted to get to here and see what it is, this is the list. These are the things that I kind of went over and looked at, and this is the result. And I want you to be aware of where everything stands, who wins what. So, I mean, obviously, out of the things that I just listed for you guys, as far as comparisons are concerned, I think that the Sensecap definitely takes it. Like, the Sensecap, it should have been like the #1 Helium miner. I think the only reason that it's the other way around is because there are more Bobcat owners out there, and they got more units on the field. So obviously you're going to get more votes. That's an easy win. But again, that's just me. That's just my humble opinion, right? Like, that's how things go. But keep in mind antennas. I can't talk about antennas enough, and I do have a video on antennas. If you guys are got questions about antennas, I did put a card for it up earlier. You're trying to figure out what the best spot for you to place your antenna, what kind of antenna you should be getting. I highly recommend check out Hotspot RF, and I'll put a link in the description down below. It is a referral link, which you're going to get a free 10 searches for just going on that website, and you can basically say, hey, what if I was to use a 10 dBi antenna versus an 8 dBi antenna? Would my earnings be more or less? And it's free, and if it's free, it's for me. I'm going to try to get those guys to maybe sweeten the deal and get you guys a discount if you want to buy one of their plans and stuff, because it is pretty darn cool, I gotta say that. But what else we got going on here? Yeah, let's open this unit up and see what it looks like inside. I just want to give you a little bit of an insight as far as what's in here, because I've opened it up, and why not show it to you guys what this thing is like. All right, I need to use something to point with, so it's going to be the antenna. This works out well. This is Bobcat 300, and I just want to pop this guy open. I already took the screws from underneath, and they do use security screws that are a little bit harder, not just your regular, Phillips head, but it's fine. It's fine. With Bobcat, here's something that I'm not a big fan of, and I got to be honest about this one. If you take a look, this is the LoRa module right here, and I actually cover this up because I will be giving, maybe I'll give this one, maybe I'll give the other one away. I don't know. I'm going to give something away. I'm going to give at least one Helium miner away. So I don't want you guys to have like the MAC address and stuff that comes with it. This is what they talk about, the heating. This is supposed to be the heat dissipation, which is nothing. Like, this is absolutely garbage when it comes to heat dissipation. It means doesn't do much at all. Another thing that I want you guys to pay attention on this unit itself is that you have 1, 2 connections, 3, 4. Anytime you have a connection that's exposed like that, you're going to experience diminishing signal. And I don't know about you, but I really don't like the signal to be any weaker than it already is. There's enough regulations out there that prevent this signal from being any stronger. So the stronger I can have it, the better my output signal and, receiving, capabilities are going to be. So I'd much rather not have this additional spot right here that a lot of people don't even think about. You can see, as far as this module is concerned, that they did look at, you see this port right there? It is an identical copy of the other side. I don't know why they did that. Maybe they were thinking about adding something else later on, but it is there, and you can see that it's the same thing as this here. I do like how this is super solid, and it's not really going to move anywhere. Just because it's really secure in there. And let me see if I can get you a little bit better angle right there. That's what it is. All right. We get a nice little reflection right there. But yeah, this is lower module. This is a straightforward unit. There's room for other things on here that's not being utilized, specifically that right there. So you can see that that's where you'd have another chip go, which is non-existent. Don't know if that's because it's the new layout, new unit, but it is what it is. The biggest thing that I want you to guys see was actually just this here, as well as the lack of heat dissipation. So that's my 2 cents on the Bobcat 300. Okay, now with the Sensecap unit, you're going to remove these 2 larger Phillips head screw from the back, and you can actually see that they did use thread lock on a lot of these, which I actually do appreciate. I like a little bit thread lock on things, and easy screws to remove in case I need to work on my unit. And I'm gonna slide it out because I already pulled the back out. Magic. All right, a couple of things on this one. You can see that the lower module is right there, and it's got a bunch of info right on it. Seed. Yeah, if you good luck trying to get these units directly from seed, you're going to have a bad time. But you see what I mean in regards to the limited connection here? This is it. It goes from the lower chip right to the output. That's it. So you're limiting the amount of connections that you have on your unit. This is a big help because it makes your signal stronger. I need to do some tests as far as like what the output actually is out of these units. I think that would be my next one, but this is one of the reasons why I was saying that the antenna factor when it comes to Sensecap versus Bobcat, I might give it to Sensecap. I don't want people to stop talking about, oh, my DPI is higher, so I'm better. Like, that's just crap. There is a little bit of captain's tape right here. So if you are to upgrade your SIM card, which I actually do recommend, maybe I should do a video on how to update that. That might be helpful for you guys. 64 gigabytes is great, but eventually you're going to start having a little bit of issues with them because it just does not keep up with the blockchain. The blockchain is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and as that happens, you're going to have trouble storing it and writing over it and things like that. So upgrading that the SD card, the SD card is going to go a long way. Now on the other side, this is pretty because that's a fan, and that is aluminum. So when you actually have real heat dissipation, not only from the unit itself, but also from the enclosure, that to me is a big win. Those are the 2 main things I wanted to show you guys when it came to this unit because I don't know, I like it. So keep in mind it is a Raspberry Pi unit. If you guys can see here, it has USB, USB-C, even a headphone jack right on the side. It's just not utilized for this unit unless you want to flash it and listen to music on it, but that would be worth a whole lot less. Yeah, this is a little cute Raspberry Pi, which good luck trying to get one of these online. They're all being bought up and used to make these cards. That's it. Let's get back to that main video of my face. All right, was that helpful? Did you hit that like button yet? Did you subscribe to the channel? That's always a big question. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I mean, it made me happy. And again, like I said early in the video, I do want you guys to actually benefit more and more from this channel. Drop a comment down below. I do want to pick somebody to give out free stuff to, because I want to hear from you. I want to know who is impacting your, Helium journey. Who's helped you along the way? Who would you like to hear from? I'd love to put in a little panel and actually have a conversation, ask fun questions. Let me just leave it that way. Fun questions to these other people, other influencers, community members, like I said, because we're all in this together. There's plenty of people you guys can learn from. And I am not the sole provider of information on the internet. Never will be. But I know a little bit, and I want to make sure that I do share what I do know. So thank you all so very much. You all have been great thus far. Thank you for, 16,000 subscribers. I truly appreciate that. You all are fantastic, and I'll see you all on the next video. Take care. And we are back for the post-credit fun. Right, this is where we get realsies, and we show you last video. We grab the URL from the last video, and we go over here and we pick the winner for the last video. So if you want to win stuff, I always recommend stick around to the end, like the end, not the first end, the Marvel ending, like the ones after the credits, because we get the YouTube comments and we see that there are 73 unique comments on the last video. Then we hit start here, and wow, so hard to pronounce that. But I guess is it like this? Is that what it is? Oh no, that's going like this. Yes, I like it. All right, so Mr. You just wanted an NFT for the channel, and I told some of you guys, yes, you're winning an NFT. It's super cool. It is a custom NFT for the channel, and my people are like, oh, it's just a JPEG. It's just a JPEG, but guess what? I do random drawings, and I give you all free stuff for the people that actually own an NFT from the channel, because you can't buy them. That's all. It's listed. If you want to put down 500 ETH, Justice Beaver.
Who is Justice Beaver?
You can do that, but that's not what the goal is. The goal is to make these only attainable by winning giveaways, by being good. I give, NFTs away there, inside of the Discord all the time when I see people helping each other. Guys, if you're helping each other, I love it. I love to see that in the comments. Love to see when you guys are supporting, being a healthy, thriving community. So I give out NFTs for that as well. So that's what it is. What do we do now? We got to do something special. I know. Let's double the $50 to $100 if inside of your comment you include hashtag action interview. So action interview, yeah. Action interview. Let's do that. We'll make it a generic thing, even though we're talking about putting on a little panel. We'll do action interview for this one. So 100 HNT. Yeah, that's what it is. I'm gonna make sure I give you guys not only content, but value in every single video. You all are phenomenal. I can't thank you enough for being the incredible community that you are. And I will see you all for sure on the next video. Take care.